Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world's secrets. Today we're diving into a report from X4 Pharmaceuticals, and let me tell you, this one has a bit of a twist. It involves some maths, some boardroom decisions, and maybe just a little bit of shrinking. Intrigued? Let's get started. This report is a snapshot of something that happened on April 17, 2025. It's called a current report, or an 8K, which companies file to tell investors about major events. In this case, it involves a vote by the company's stockholders, the people who own shares in the company. The main event was a special meeting of stockholders held to vote on some important proposals. Think of it like a town hall meeting, but for a company and its owners. To vote, you had to be a stockholder as of March 13, 2025. On that date, there were a little over 173 million shares of X4 Pharmaceuticals stock out there. At the meeting, either in person or by proxy, meaning someone voting on their behalf, about 137 million shares were represented. That's about 79% of all the shares, which is enough to make decisions. It's like having enough people at a meeting to make sure the vote counts. Here's where things get interesting. The big question was whether to approve something called a reverse stock split. What's that? Well, imagine you have a pizza cut into many small slices. A reverse stock split is like taking some of those slices and combining them to make fewer bigger slices. The total amount of pizza doesn't change, just how it's sliced. In this case, X4 Pharmaceutical wanted to combine their shares. For every 15 to 30 shares you owned, you'd end up with just one. The exact number would be decided later by the company's leaders, the board of directors. They'd pick a number between 15 and 30. Did the stockholders approve this reverse stock split? The answer is yes. Over 113 million shares voted in favour, while about 24 million voted against. A small number abstained, meaning they didn't vote either way. There was another proposal planned, but it wasn't even voted on because the first one passed. Sometimes, if one thing is approved, it makes another thing unnecessary. Now let's step back and talk about what a reverse stock split actually means. Why would a company do this? Often it's about the stock price. If a company's stock price is very low, some investors might see it as risky or not take it seriously. Also, some stock exchanges have rules about minimum stock prices. If a stock stays too low for too long, the exchange might kick it off. A reverse stock split can artificially increase the stock price. Let's say the company chooses a 1 for 20 split. If the stock is trading at $1, it would suddenly trade at 20 shares at $1 each. Before the split, then you should have one share at 20. Remember, the value of your investment does not change in the short term. If you had 20 shares at $1 each before the split, then you should have one share at $20 after the split. However, there's also a risk. Some people see a reverse stock split as a sign that the company is struggling. The company's leaders must be transparent and be able to convince investors that they have a solid plan to improve the company. Otherwise, the stock price might fall again and the reverse split would have been for nothing. And so, what does this all mean for X4 Pharmaceuticals? It seems like the company wants to boost its stock price, possibly to stay listed on its exchange or to attract new investors. The leaders are betting that a higher stock price will make the company look healthier. But it's not a magic trick. X4 Pharmaceuticals still needs to show that it can grow and make money. Other risks and opportunities. One risk is that investors might see this move as a sign of weakness. If the company doesn't improve its financial performance, the stock price could drop again. On the other hand, there's an opportunity. If X4 Pharmaceuticals can use this as a chance to reset and show real progress, it could attract more investors and build a stronger future. In conclusion, the reverse stock split is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. It's up to X4 Pharmaceuticals to show that it can use this to build something better. The key will be whether the company can demonstrate that it's not just changing the appearance of its stock price, but improving the real health of its business. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate decoding. Until next time.